How did you decide to go into graduate school in mathematics?
I could see my brother Felix, although he was having a hard time getting a job, a permanent job, he still was making a living. So I was assured that perhaps at least I could make a living doing mathematics. How would I have done it in some other science? Well, maybe I could have and maybe I couldn't.
And why did you choose Princeton?
Well, Felix again had gone to Princeton, and it had such a reputation. And the idea of the freedom of the Princeton graduate school appealed to me very much. The idea that no grades, you didn't have to go to the courses if you didn't want to, you were completely free. And I thought that was a wonderful way to do it. I was against all, and I still am, against all these artificial restrictions.
Backtracking just a bit, how did you choose MIT?
Well, my two brothers had gone there, first of all, so I knew I had a path there. I was pretty sure I'd get in. And then I examined Princeton and Harvard, and they both required chapel. And I was not going to go to a college that required you to go to chapel, I can tell you that. So I'd crossed them off the list. But Columbia did not say anything about chapel, and so I applied to Columbia also, and I got in. But I decided to go to MIT. I'd heard so much about MIT, and I was convinced. And it was a very good choice.
And did you find the transition from undergraduate school to graduate school very smooth?
No, not so much. Not so much.
In what ways?
Well, the first year in graduate school, it was hard for me to do topology. There was a course being given by a visiting professor, but I think both Steenrod and Moore were on leave that year.
What year was that?
That would have been 1954, 55. There was a visiting professor giving a course in an algebraic topology, but it was really more elementary than I needed. And then there was a course in algebraic geometry, was also given by a visitor, which was okay. There was a course by Artin in number theory, which I was very excited about for about 6 weeks, and then discovered that I didn't have the foggiest idea what was going on, but he was such a great lecturer that I forgot it. But then when I realized that I didn't have any idea what was going on, then I gave up that aspect of algebra. And my only exciting course really was Feller's course in a completely different subject, in functional analysis. But he was so dynamic a lecturer and very chaotic as well, and it was very interesting. But of course, I learned something, but it was not what I was basically interested in. So, but the following year, then everything went better. Moore was back, then Steenrod was back. There were several really exciting courses in topology.
Did you have interaction with Lefschetz also in those days?
No, I didn't. He was retired by then, and he was interested in differential equations at that time. Right. Yeah, he was seen around the department, but I didn't have any interaction with him at all.
Who were the other graduate students interested in topology in your year?
Well, let's see. There was Dick Swan. Jim Stashev came a year or two later. I think a year later, maybe. And then there were older students. There was Frank Peterson, Emery Thomas, and they taught me a lot. I learned a lot from both of them, and just talking in the common room. And that was the great thing about Princeton. You didn't have to rely on the professors to learn things from. The students would really give you an education. And they would give it to you in maybe a slightly different way. They would say, if so-and-so is on your general's committee, here's what he's going to ask, and here's the answer. It was a very nice group of people.
And did junior faculty also play a role in that for you?
Yeah, well, John Moore was junior faculty at the time, and I was listening to his course, and he became my thesis advisor.
What about Jack Milner?
He would give an occasional seminar or a course that was just fantastic, just unbelievable. So those were the three that really did my education. Moore was my advisor. Steenrod, who gave some splendid lectures in basic algebraic topology, but really very, very well developed. And Milner.
So you were a graduate student when Milner discovered the exotic spheres.
Yeah.
Were you aware of his work on that immediately, or did it take?
Well,
some
it was the talk of Fine Hall, but I didn't really, I didn't know why exactly.